Today we begin our climb up the Zugspitze, Germany's highest mountain. Let's go!
Yes.
Super! And just like that, we are in Garmisch, so we've just walked past the Olympic ski stadium. And I say we, it is me, myself, and Anna. Woo! So Anna is here, she is staying in Munich, and is just joining me for a short stretch today because the other day, a couple of days ago, my camera got stolen, and I'm now shooting on a brand new camera that she picked up and brought because she's just an epic human being in general. So now we're just basically walking on to find the footpath that's going to take us up the gorge, that's going to take me into the mountains, it's going to take me up the Zugspitze. You ready?
I am.
Cool. Me too then.
You too.
I think. So, you are here. That's how far I have to walk today, and it is 1 o'clock. Oh, my clock is wrong, ignore that. So from here, Brock Hut, it's about an hour and a half. So, just that to do.
3.5-ish.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
Alright, let's take it on.
My walk had started outside of the main Olympic Stadium in Garmisch. Nearby was the famous Parknack Gorge, through which cascades the Parknacker River.
So it's very busy here, a lot of people walking, a popular spot to start day hikes up through the gorge and sort of into the surrounding peaks. But I don't think it'll take too long to leave behind the crowds, especially given the time of day. I think most people will be coming down soon. And then I'll keep hiking up and get to the hut.
The gorge was dedicated as a natural monument in 1912, and it was here that I would begin my ascent up the Reintal Valley and on towards the Zugspitze.
Yeah.
€6.
We had to pay to enter the gorge, which was fine, but little did we expect what we would stumble upon next.
Huh?
It does seem like it.
This is a queue.
This is the key.
I have to queue to go on a hike. I have to say, I've never done this before. I have to pay to start the hike, pay to stay on the hike, and pay to get down from the hike. Commercialism.
The gorge was obviously a popular place, and I was starting to worry about the time. At the current rate, we wouldn't get into the gorge until gone 3:30. That's when we saw some hikers walk past us, so we decided to follow suit.
Entschuldigung, nur weil wir auf der Zugspitze oben schlafen, wir haben ein bisschen anderen Zeitdruck.
Hallo. Servus. Hey! I'm super pumped about this.
Finally inside the gorge, though still caught in a long file of people, we were on our way, following a path etched into the 260-foot deep crevasse of pure rock.
It's amazing how the water has scored away the rock thousands of years, so smooth, running down the sides as well. It is very impressive. Less impressed by the queue though.
Obviously I joke a lot about the amount of people in the gorge, but at times it did feel a little claustrophobic. To be honest though, the walk was exhilarating, and although only 800 metres long, the deafening roar of the water and icy drips that fell down our neck was stimulating on so many levels.
That's a good sound. The water Casual. That's the gorge. Done. Done. Oh, okay, so is that the hut I'm going to?
Reintalangerhütte, yeah.
3.5 hours. I can work with that.
You can.
Look at that green. Like, things always work out for the better. Dirt. What are you doing? Hi. Come. I feel good. Na 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 na. I knew that I would. Now na 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 na. I feel good. Na 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 na. There's no people. It does feel good.
Now on a quiet forestry track, we headed up and into the mountains, definitely in good spirits. The river roared alongside, and the lands around us were protected as a nature reserve. The banks certainly testified to this too, filled with wildflowers like vetch, arnica and yarrow. There was so much to take in, despite the route being relatively straightforward. Pillars of rock loomed over us menacingly, and occasionally we would drop down to the river itself, icy winds blasting off its surface. It was an all-consuming experience, and one I savoured with every step.
Water coming down. Alright, let's see. Still going the right way. Still looking towards the hut. And Zugspitze. I have to say, I don't really get tired at the sound of running water. It's just so good. I mean, I'm loving that. And then down the gorge, rather spectacular.
Did it say it's open until 6?
There's actually not a lot to show you on this route really. It's just along this forestry track. Occasional signs confirming that we are still on the right path. And the gorge is further that way. Oh, although we seem to be now skirting around towards it. But it's very peaceful, very quiet in the trees. You can hear the crickets and our footsteps, and that's about it. Rather blissful. Can we see down? Oh, hey, yes we can. Wow, that's a long way. Whew. Are you leaving me now?
I am.
Why?
Because I have to get back and I didn't bring my sleeping bag, and there's no place in the Reintalangerhütte, and I will maybe die in the snowstorm outside if I come with you.
There is no snowstorm.
You never know.
No, I know.
Climbing up the Alps, my girlfriend always says, oh, you have to check the weather forecast. You never
True.
know whether there's snow at the top, so it's for my own safety.
Anna is leaving us. Heading back to Munich for a few days and then coming back in
Just a couple actually.
a couple of days, and then we'll jump on some mountains at the same time together.
Yeah.
This should be good.
Bye.
Have a safe journey. I will. Bye. Alright, it's happening. Let's take on the Zugspitze. Feels a little bit more real now, which is cool. Not sure how I'm feeling. It's just late in the day, a lot of cloud up ahead, but the forecast looks good. We've got the river for comfort. Let's get up the highest mountain in Germany. Come on. It's been a very simple trail so far, well signposted at each junction, and otherwise just crisscrossing the river and winding through the woods. We're no longer on a track, as you will have seen, on a path now, but it's not even a single track path really, it's not narrow. Very easy going, the gradient is exceptionally steady. I'll be glad to get to the hut today because I want to rest up, because tomorrow is going to be the much more challenging day. I don't really know what it's going to be like, but I'm expecting it to be quite harsh, quite rocky, but then again, this is the easiest descent, so I know what I'm capable of, and I don't think this is going to push my limits. Just want to enjoy it and relish my time working up and on the highest mountain here in Germany and Austria. Check this out. From here, 8 hours to the top. That's a proper day's hike. So Knorrhütte is a bit higher than where I'm staying, which is this one, 2 hours away. My watch is still on UK time, so it's 10 past 4, 10 past 5, 10 past 6 hopefully. So 6:30 latest it should be there. Not bad. It's gone down now. That's bizarre. So 1 hour and 3/4 from there to here. Whew. I mean, that was a tough stretch. All good, all good. All right, let's keep making progress. I have to say, I do find comfort in the signs. Otherwise, you just kind of feel like you're in the middle of nowhere. I mean, kind of am, kind of not. Hey, look, here's the Brockhutte. We made it. So this is the first hut on this leg. Obviously, I'm not going to stop here. I mean, it's a pretty stunning location.
The Brockhutte has been lovingly run by the Zollner family for over 30 years. In 2011, it was rebuilt and is famed for its hearty snacks, coffee and cake. Nearby was a smaller hut owned by the Garmisch Alpine Club and a big sign detailing of controlled explosions that take place during the winter to control the risk of avalanche. Thankfully, this was something I didn't have to worry about.
Probably can't see that. There's a spider's web across the path and the spider's just there. Clever. I don't want to get caught in that. Wow, look at all this debris brought down by the water. The trees absolutely shredded and washed downstream. I mean, you can see the width of the river when it's in spate. This is definitely a seasonal walk. Even though in winter, you better be prepared.
Pristine, wild, intense. The ceaseless roar of the glacial water made me feel as though I was an early explorer. And as always, the craggy peaks loomed over me, keeping an eye on my progress. At times, they felt slightly intimidating as clouds swirled around.
Zugspitze then was first summited in 1820 by Lieutenant Joseph Naus and his two partners, and this is most likely the route they would have taken. It's the easiest of the three common ascents, and it's also quite common, and once you reach the top these days you get the cable car back down either into Garmisch in Germany or Urwald in Austria. And when I reach the top tomorrow, will get the cable car back down into Urwald in Austria.
Everything about the scene through which I was walking highlighted the power of nature. It made me question the early explorers, who wouldn't have had a path to follow, as they forged their way through the region, something which must have demanded a huge amount of courage and skill.
So peaceful here. There's not even the roar of the water right now, because we're in a valley and it's quite wide. It's got no force to it. Just me and the crickets. This looks like a dried up riverbed. Water, oh look at that. Water would have come tumbling down all the way to join the main channel there. So I expect in the spring that's got an actual flow to it. Right now, completely dead. Servus. Hey sheepies, this is not a bad place to live. You want to go past? Hi. Okay, I didn't expect to get nibbled by a sheep today, but there we go. Life in the mountains. You never know what's around the corner. The Zugspitze has actually been in the cloud all day, and as we gradually ascend higher, I can feel the coolness coming down from the peaks. The forecast for the next few days though does look good, so I think my chances of a cloud-free summit tomorrow are pretty high. At least I'm telling myself that anyway.
I stood staring up at the menacing peaks when I suddenly spotted something glistening in the corner of my eye. Looking up the valley, I was blown away. There was the Partenkirchen waterfall, tumbling down tens of meters. I just couldn't wait to get a closer look.
It's getting louder. Ah, wow! There it is. That is utterly spectacular.
Without a doubt, the waterfall was one of the highlights of the route, and there were no words to express just how surreal the scene was.
Look at this landscape. This is just insane. I'm mind blown. I mean, even with the cloud base being quite low, it's still really quite spectacular, and I can only begin to imagine what it would have been like for those early pioneers making their way up here in the 1800s, pushing through for the summit, unsure of what they were going to hit next. I mean, if that's not bravery, I don't know what is. You can hear the water thundering past. Dare I take a look? It's quite far down. Yeah, I'm not getting any closer than that. Alright, so the hut should not be far away at all. Also my guidebook has inferred. Let's see if we can find it. I'll stop for the night. Random gate. You see this here? This has all been built up, deposited by the river. Crazy.
Sure enough, a little further up the trail, and I saw my first hints of humanity. Plaques stated that this was a no camping area, and trail signs pointed to alpine climbing routes.
Alrighty, here we are, Reintalanger Hut. Probably not quite pronounced like that, but here we go, we're here anyway. So we're about 50 meters above sea level, a little bit higher, but this is what I'm excited about. Tibetan prayer flags over the water. It's going to be nice just to have some time to hang out here for a bit. And then tomorrow, we push for the summit.
The Reintalangerhütte Hut sits at 1,369 metres above sea level, with the Parknach River flowing alongside. It belongs to the German Alpine Club and was first built in 1912 with 132 beds. The area is famous for its prayer flags, which hang over the rocky riverbed.
This is quite a rickety bridge. It's on a ladder, can you see? Yeah. That is sketchy. Made it. Right, let's have some scoff. Talk about being antisocial.
Most alpine huts offer a full board basis, but I had decided to bring my own food for the trip.
So in here, I have mashed potato. That's what I've got tonight, and I'm gonna put it in there and eat a lot of it. Oh, and pretzels, of course. And cherry tomatoes, which I found in my bag. I forgot I had them. Yum yum. Okay then. I don't know how much to stir into this. Nice. Let's give it a go. I also brought half an avocado. I just needed using. This mashed potato is quite sad. I thought it had herbs in, but it doesn't. It's literally just mashed potato. Wait. Pretzel. Mashed potato. Warm pretzel mashed potato. I did think about putting the tomatoes in, but I don't want to ruin the tomatoes. Mmm, so good. Dining fit for kings.
So it's 39 euros
Cool.
for your bed.
Thank you. This is the room. Looks like I've got top bunk. Someone's on the bottom bunk, and this is the view. Not bad. Alrighty, I'm feeling tired, but I've just sorted out some of my stuff and I'm gonna get to sleep, I think. It's only just gone 8, but the accumulation of a lot of days hiking here in the Alps is wearing me out, mentally especially. So I just want to get to bed, wake up nice and early, sort of 6ish. I'm gonna have some breakfast and then get hiking. I like to get started early in the mountains. I like to get ahead of the game with people. My pack's quite heavy, I don't want to rush tomorrow. So if I can get out early, you can obviously have food here, dinner and breakfast, but I'm going to pass on that and just do things myself. I like doing that. I like trying to be independent when I'm out and about here, so it's all good fun. Anyway, it's starting to clear up out there, which is leaving me feeling really optimistic about the weather tomorrow. So I'm going to sleep well, and then I will see you in the morning. Sleep tight. Oh wow, those mountains. That is amazing. Guten Morgen! It is a new day. It's quite fresh actually. I sort of wish I had gloves on, but I know pretty soon I'm going to be climbing and climbing steeply. So today we're heading up to the summit of the Zugspitze. First up is Knorrhütte, which is the next hut, 2.5 hours away. It's beautiful with the sun just dripping down the mountains ahead of us. I'm the second person to leave at 6:30. Everyone else is just getting up. I didn't sleep so well last night, didn't expect to really. Just everyone was very loud. Wooden flooring and snoring people, and yeah, never mind. Part of the experience. I had somewhere to stay and that's the main thing. So Anyway, on the move, it feels good. I'm really excited and I'm just loving this scenery right now. Let's do it. Alright, we got this sign here. So you see a Partenkirchen or sprung, whatever. That's the spring for the Partenkirchen River. So I thought we could see that, and then it reroutes back to the Knorrhütte. It doesn't really add any time. That's the main way if you just want to avoid that. So let's go find it. Whoa, I think this is it. The water just bursts out of the mountain. Woo! I did not expect that. Thought we'd just come and take a closer look. Can hear its thunder. What? Literally, that's it. Huh? That's so puzzling. Or it must be maybe under here. And it just goes down, carved. See how the rock is carved by the water? And it just goes down and down and down through the valley into the sunrise.
I really couldn't work out the exact point where the water burst from the rock, but it was foaming and frothing, and the force was really quite overwhelming.
Just like that, we leave the roar of the water behind, which accompanied us all through yesterday, and now heading up into the real gnarled up peaks. It's gonna get a bit more serious from now on.
I was as nervous as I was excited. So far, I had only ever seen pictures of this place, and now my feet were actually on the ground and my lungs breathing in the alpine air. I wasn't sure what to expect, especially in terms of the technical difficulty, but I was ready to give it my all.
Crossing this dried up riverbed, again just a sign that the landscape's changed so much with the seasons here, and rejoining a path. Ta-da!
Near the path was a tribute to Sherpa Ang Guelsen, who was born in the shadow of Everest and visited this area for 17 years in a row.
So here in the mountains, you usually want to start early, sort of 5 AM. I'm quite late today because the sun comes down and it's hot, and today is supposed to be hot. So I'm going to wet my bandana because I know there's not a lot of water today, and just keep that against my skin on my neck, and it should just help keep me cooler for a little bit longer.
The area through which I was walking has been used as an alpine pasture for sheep and cattle since the mid-1400s, their bells echoing throughout the valley through spring and summer. Ahead of me lay a trail of white and red flags. These marked that I was on a stretch of the Via Alpina, a network of 5 trails across 8 alpine regions, spanning 5,000 kilometres.
Here comes the sun, just peeking over the mountaintop. Such a glorious feeling. So good. So the path goes that way. We've got this rock to go up, and see how smooth it is. Part of me wonders if this has been formed by glaciers, the ice shearing the rock away, leaving it all sort of cut up like this, but also worn. Interesting. Very interesting. Also interesting to get up, it seems. There we go.
The sun felt sublime on my skin as it cast a surreal light on my surroundings. Already I was sweating heavily, the steep gradient making my whole body work hard. Walking in the mountains never fails to enchant and challenge, offering immeasurable rewards if you put in the effort.
Awesome views ahead, looking up to the peaks and then dropping down into the sunlit valley. Really beautiful. I really enjoy how in mountainous landscapes the flora changes. So in the valleys you have the meadows, and then you get the pine forest shed with deciduous trees. Then you climb higher and you get into the sort of dwarf pines like this. This is as big as these guys will get. And then you get the alpine wildflowers, all different kinds. Most commonly out sort of June, July time. So I missed a lot of them here in August, but still, it's nice to be able to spot the odd late blooming alpen rose or the harebells, and really immerse myself in the landscape as it changes as I climb higher. See the path goes up there, and then I'm not sure, somewhere in that region.
The going was tough, simply because it was relentlessly steep and so stony. I breathed hard and my heart pounded in my chest. I was loving every step though, and as I progressed, I passed a few climbers and hikers coming down the trail who had likely stayed at Knorrhütte, my next destination.
Nice to have some shade for 2 minutes. It's very hot already. Sweating buckets. Gonna have to stay on top of hydration today. Hopefully I can refill at the Knorrhütte. And then at the top, happy days. A big view ahead. Really getting into rocky terrain now. Just casually working up this rock face here. You see? Not far, but just up. Oh, there's the hut. Oh, that was sooner than expected. What's the time? 8:15. Huh? That can't be the hut. If it is, then I've made very good time. Cool. Pressing on. Knorrhütte. Feels good. What a fantastic location. Well, almost. Not quite there.
Knorrhütte sits at 2,052 metres above sea level on the edge of the Zugspitze. It was first built in 1855 as a small refuge hut, but has since adapted and evolved to cater for the heavy footfall in the area. The location was stunning, with alpine cofs circling around, found in mountainous regions around the world. Sheep grazed in the morning sun, jangling away with their bells. The scene was so pure and perfect, and I soaked it up, filling my heart and smiling in gratitude. This was a full-on 360 experience, and one I didn't want to forget in a hurry.
And here we go. Zugspitze, 3 hours. Nice. I have to say, I expected it to be really busy here. I kind of thought people would have had breakfast and be leaving as I reach this spot. Doesn't seem to be the case. I'm quite happy about that. I'm enjoying the thinking time today. All good. That seems to be my phrase of the day. All good. Just a little further on, we've got a split here. So you can head to the Zugspitze via the ridge. Obviously that's quite technical. So we're going to keep pressing on along our way. Still on the Via Alpina. Nice. All the sheep are coming down the mountainside. That is quite loud. Steady, sheepy, steady. What do they know that I don't know? Grubs up. Oh, hi. Hi. Oh, it's nibbled by a sheep there again. Hi. Hi, sheepy. Hi. Please don't ram into me. This way. Alright, that was fun. Bye. Didn't think that's how I was gonna die. Pushed down a mountain by a sheep. Oh well.
On and on the trail climbed, twisting and turning through the lunar-like landscape, shaped by the now much retreated northern Schneeferner glacier.
I mean, look at this. Behind me. Just crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Very, very cool. I'm loving it here.
I was feeling tired, simply because I had spent 10 days previously bombing about in the mountains, but I knew that no amount of fatigue or anxiety would stop me. One small step after another, head up, heart open. This was an experience to be truly lived in the moment.
Alright, so this hut here is Son Alpin. This here is an environmental centre. That there is a switchbacking scree path, and then it gets a bit scrambly. And I think just beyond that is the top. It's happening. Whew. Crossing a patch of snow. Probably more like ice, to be honest. Or slush. Yeah, nice. Here we are, and just a little further on, the sign saying 1.5 hours to the top, which is up that way.
Before my final bid for the summit, I decided to stop and get some sugars in me. I tried to take it all in. Ski buildings, cable cars, interstellar architecture, clean air, snow patches, rocks, and an endless mountainous horizon.
Alright, hour and a half. Let's do this thing to the top. And so begins the climb. All the way up. It's really quite windy, very icy. I guess the wind's blowing down the snow there. Just take this steady.
The glacier, which was rather unimpressive and sad to look at, is Germany's highest and largest glacier. Once it would have covered the entire area through which I was walking. But, as with glaciers worldwide, its retreat has been drastic since the 1980s.
Really is quite slippery stuff actually. Little steps required. Whew, that wind. Ugh. I've come down this kind of screw before. Haven't gone up it that many times.
The going was exceptionally slow. I had to dig in with each foot to ensure I didn't slide backwards and maintain a brace due to the strong winds. I could see why most people catch the cable car up to the top.
Making a hole. Interesting technique there, Abbie. Good job. It's quite steep now and really quite scree. Just trying to watch the footing as much as possible and try not to send big rocks like that down the mountain after me. Polly polly, slowly slowly. Not a bad place to work though, is it really? Alright, nearly at the end of the screw field, and then we have like a cliff basically. Rocks, cliff, exposure. Stick can go away. It's unlikely I'm going to need that now. Probably going to get in the way more than anything. Dislocate my arm. Alright, I'm pretty pumped about this. It's going to be good. Alright, let's go. Yeah. So good. Okay, this requires hands now actually. Not too bad. Very clear trail all the way up. The only issue when a path is heavily used like this is it gets all worn and then it gets slippier. But actually it gets craggier over there, so all good. I'm genuinely having a lot of fun right now. This is not the path for you if you don't have a head for heights. Look at these little guys clinging on for dear life on this rock face. They look like stitch wart. Little metal steps in this rock. 1, 2, 3, 4, pivot. 1, swap hands, up. Nice. It's a bit of a free-for-all, to be honest. I was following a path down there. There's that one there. This one here. Sort of just see how you go, really. Feels very much like we're getting there now. Good progress. Strong legs. I'm feeling so pumped. I'm really, really enjoying this. And I think we're about to get views on the other side. Let me just get up here. Oh my word. Oh my life. Oh my gosh. Look. Wow. Just reached this peak. Oh gosh. It's pretty harsh up here, but it is incredible. Try not to get blown over there, that would be sad. Okay, last little bit. Let's get to the top. It's a bit too windy for my hat right now, so it's come off. Proper scrambling now. Good fun. Just keep going. Alright, come on. Oh. Cold, cold, cold. I found a rather large hole. Almost like a mine shaft. Generator. View. Up. Okay. Another view down over Austria. That's the cable car we'll be taking down in a bit. Very close now. Last few steps. So windy.
With the scrambles and scree behind me, I had finally reached the metal steps that would take me up to the summit. It was astonishing what lay behind me, and I was lost for words at what I had achieved. I knew it had changed my perspective on my capabilities and opened doors to endless adventurous possibilities. The harmonious thoughts were short-lived though, as the top was certainly unlike any other summit I had ever experienced.
Well, we're up. Just not entirely sure where up is right now. I wonder if that's my cable car down. Gosh, there's so many people. Everyone get the cable car, you see? Dude, that's intense. Where's the actual top? Or are we actually on the top? I do not know.
I passed by the München house on the eastern edge of the summit, and then made my way through the crowds and on towards the summit cross. It was a bit of a maze, and really quite overwhelming, with the people and the views all blurred into a mass of noise and colour.
Oh look. Oh, that's the cable car. I don't want that. But at least from here we can see the view. Feels very rewarding to be here, but just so insanely bizarre with all the people. Just come from like hiking by myself most of the day to just boom, a lot of people. We made it though. Let's not lose the satisfaction.
The views over the German Alps were insane. Not only that, but I could see across to the Italian and Swiss Alps as well. Snow-capped and jagged, distant on the horizon. They absolutely marked inspiration for travels to come. I looked back along the exposed ridge along which I had just travelled, amazed at what I had conquered simply by showing up for myself.
I feel like I'm just wandering around quite directionless because I'm not sure what to do with myself. Let's have a look at the Austrian side. Oh look. Wow, that is pretty congested.
There has been a summit cross on top of the Zugspitze since 1851, and the history following its repairs and replacements is definitely worth taking the time to look up. For me though, I had no desire to climb to the top. I didn't want to queue, and the magic was lost by the busyness of the scene. Instead, I stepped back and went inwards, congratulating myself on my achievements, and saying a silent thank you to the mountain as I looked out over Austria. After a few deep breaths, I knew, most importantly, it was now time for a coffee.
Well-earned coffee.
The construction of the summit buildings had come at a high cost for the mountain, with the dynamite being used to blow out the rock to create platforms.
Just come onto the Austrian platform. It's kind of cool. There's these like little wooden sculptures. You can do some mountaineer, and then here, this looks like an ibex. Yeah. Oh, it's a bit quieter, which is nice. Oh, and a bit warmer actually. I'll take that. Feeling very chilled. Okie dokie, let's go find this cable car. Let's head back down to Urwald, Austria.
The descent wasn't cheap, and the car itself was crammed. I didn't mind though. I just wedged myself into a position where I could see the view, feeling utterly calm and content inside.
That's where we were, just up there. Well, that's it now, folks. We're back down, and I've got sort of a 20-minute walk down into Urwald, where I'm staying tonight. So we're in Austria now. Wave goodbye to Germany. Wave goodbye to the Zugspitze, although I'm going to be sleeping under its shadow, which is all good. That was just the most wonderful adventure. I really enjoyed that. I felt like it was much needed. It tested me, it pushed me, and at the same time it just offered such a sense of freedom and elation that I just feel so pumped by that experience. I'm gonna hold that close and dear to my heart for a very, very long time. So I want to say thank you so much for hiking with me over the last day or two. It's been really, really good to be able to share it with you. And guys, until next time, enjoy your own adventures wherever they may be, whether on a mountain, in a valley, somewhere entirely different. Enjoy, and until next time, stay wild.
Sometimes the hardest part about travelling alone is just not having the words to share what you've experienced. So I turned to nature, knowing that there I would always find a reflective space to remind me of who I am and to inspire me onwards into brand new adventures. Climbing the Zugspitze had never been on my to-do list, but now, having gazed out over endless mountains from its summit and pushed myself into uncomfortable realms, I realised that life is not so much about doing what we love, but loving what we do, and living in gratitude for the beauty that surrounds us.